Elise Baughman. I'm the voice of Pan on Dragon Ball GT, and I am with Emily Neves.
Yes, hi, I'm Emily Neves. I'm the voice of Eri in My Hero Academia.
Oh, I love that. And this is Anime Adventures. This is a show where I bring you anime voice actors, and we sit down and have a little chat. I'm so glad you're here. I would love for you to subscribe so you can see interviews like this one. And in just a minute, we will be back with my interview with Emily.
Yay! Welcome to Anime Adventures.
Well, Emily, it's so great to visit with you. We are at the My Hero Con here in Irving, Texas. Have you had so much fun so far?
Oh my gosh, I've had so much fun. I've met so many people. I've seen so many little Aries running around, and I love that.
We just saw a little Aries. She was adorable.
Yeah, there are some that are actually Aries' age, which always kind of makes me want to cry.
I know, the one that we just saw was Aries' age.
Oh, so sweet.
So tell me about Aries. What a great storyline.
Yeah, I love Eri so much. When I got the audition, I decided to go and do a little research, like you do, you know.
Yeah, like
and
you do.
I was reading her history and her story, and I was crying. I don't want to reveal too much to people who haven't caught up yet, because I know a lot of people still catch up. But Eri has a very powerful quirk, and she doesn't know how to use it because she's 6. So she kind of has a very difficult life, and I just really felt for her. I empathized with her, and I get emotional even just talking about it. Yes,
talking about it.
I do. So here she is. She's super
So sweet and cute.
Yeah, and very innocent. So it's nice as a fully grown woman to go into the booth and sort of like tap into that little lost child energy, you know?
When you auditioned for her, did you audition from home?
No, actually, I happened to be at the studio that day, and I just went into a booth and did it there because there was, you know, soundproofing and nobody was using the studio. I was like, hey, can I pop in for a moment and just grab this real quick? And they were gracious enough to allow me to do so, and yeah.
And when you were finding her voice, did you play around with it a little bit, or did you try several different versions of her?
I did a little bit of research. You know, my friends that have kids, I actually watched videos of them at that age and kind of like, you know, tried to formulate what I thought she would sound like, not only based on her age, but based on what her personality was like, what I knew of her story, and what I kind of imagined her emotional state would be most of the time. I found it, and it was just, that was it, you know what I mean? So the voice that I auditioned with is the voice that we went with, you know, we ended up using.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it just kind of, I was like, this is what I think it is, you know, and there wasn't a lot of like trial and error. I was like, it seems like a very specific thing to me. So
that's pretty cool, because some actors you hear did several versions, and then the director liked a certain version. So that's interesting that you just kind of got it and that was it.
Yeah, just kind of tapped into something that I was like, that's her, you know. So maybe she found me.
Maybe so. Maybe she found you. Yeah. Well, I love that you did the work. Now, what I always love hearing, whether it's on a panel or talking to actors, why do you think it is that My Hero really has such a connection? Like, people connect with My Hero, and it seems like no matter what age you are, young, old, whatever, you connect with it. What's your version on that? What do you think that is?
Well, you know, I've been watching the show kind of from the beginning. And I connected with it a lot. And I think that there's something for everyone. There's action and adventure, but I think that what people connect with the most is there's this emotional through line of the show that is just really poignant. And I think Deku's personality and just his wholesomeness, like his goodness, I think really... I get emotional. Like, I don't know, I think that I'm influenced by Eri's storyline with Deku, and so I'm just like, oh, it's so pure and beautiful and wonderful. And there are such amazing, wholesome themes in it that I think really speak to people right now. It's really special. I think that it's no accident that it's so popular, and I'm really happy to see so many people connecting with it, and like, I think it helps us all grow, you know, as people and as a community. So I'm really
Wow.
honored to be a part of it.
You gave me chills talking
thanks.
about it. I think you're right.
I love it.
Because, like, from the get-go, just, Deku being told no, that he can't be a hero, and then now you make me emotional, and now, like, him overcoming that. You're so right, and like everybody in their life has had to overcome something. All of us, and are still overcoming things. So it's so interesting to see them go through it and go, well, how can I apply that, or what have I had to overcome?
Absolutely. And I mean, not only that, but the art style, the animation. There was one fight in particular that I was like, this is sort of avant-garde. It's not literal. There are really artistic elements that kind of highlight the emotional state of the characters and what they're going through, and it's just really beautiful and artful, and I really appreciate that as well. So.
Now let's talk about your other character, because you do have another character.
I do,
my hero. Yes.
I also play Sirius. She's part of the Oki Mariners crew, and if you remember in season 2, she has one episode where it's Froppy's internship. So she and Froppy kind of go out and have adventures together, and it's a really cute, sweet episode. There's a character named Selkie who's in it as well, and he's kind of my boss, and he's this big seal, but like he loves being adorable, and so like there are all these frames where he's like just being really cute, and Froppy's like adorable, and my character's like, oh, this again. So she's really neat. She has her quirk is hearing. She has like sonar hearing, and so I thought that was
Which
really
would be
neat.
a good one to have.
Yeah, right?
Right?
So, yeah, she's super cool. I love her.
Now, we're here at a My Hero Con, but let's talk about some other characters.
Sure.
I love these prints on your table.
Thank you. So this is actually a print done by an artist named Mike Fritz. He's amazing.
Yes.
Do you know him?
Yes.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah,
Super
he's
talented.
great.
And this is Uryu Minane, or Ninth, from the Future Diary. And this character, you can probably tell, is basically the polar opposite of Eri. And when people ask me what are my favorite characters to voice, she's always one of them because she's awesome.
So different.
She starts out the series of Future Diary this one thing, and again, I don't want to spoil it for people who haven't seen it, but throughout the course of the show, all this stuff happens to her, and she totally transforms, and it's somewhat of a redemption arc, which is really special as an actor.
Yes.
To like start a show sort of in one place and to watch them grow and become something else and find their humanity. And I get to act with J. Michael Tatum in it, so that's really cool.
Yeah.
That's Uryu Minane.
Very cool. Yeah. And then one more, and then I have another question for you.
Okay, cool. So this is Angel, Kanade Tachibana from Angel Beats. And she is a really interesting character. She's one of my earlier characters. And I don't know if you can tell, I'm very vocally expressive, but Angel is really like monotone. She talks like this most of the series, so that was a challenge for me, but one that I really welcomed. Yeah. And she also kind of starts that series out sort of like the villain, and then as it goes on, her role changes. So one of my favorites too.
Now let's talk about how you got started, because I think you actually come from a theater background, don't you?
Yeah, that's how I got into voice acting. I was a company member at the Alley Theater in Houston, Texas for 7 years, and in one of my earlier seasons there, I guess it was 2008, I had a friend who was acting for ADV, which is an anime company based in Houston. And he came to me and he said, hey, the studio is looking for new female voice talent, and I had watched some anime when I was in high school, like Vampire Hunter D and Akira and things like that, and back then I was like, oh, that would be really cool. And then I kind of like forgot about it, honestly. Got into theater like really intensely, and then he came and told me that, and so I went in and I auditioned for Stephen Foster at ADV. He put me through like 30 characters.
Wow.
Just like, okay, let's hear your little boy voice, now your little girl voice, now your warrior chick voice. So, and then from that, I got a bit part in Kiba. And then Stephen just kept casting me and got larger and larger roles, and then started working with other directors at ADV, which then became Sentai. And then in 2011 or 12, I started working at Funimation. I can't remember if my first role was Future Diary, or I did an Appleseed show there as well. And then from there I went into Future Diary. Wait, did I say that? Guilty Crown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You said Future Diary.
Yeah.
Guilty Crown.
I meant Guilty Crown. So Guilty Crown, then Future Diary, and
And the rest is history.
Yeah,
yes,
as they
yes.
say. So
That's very cool. Yeah, so many people I've talked to have the theater background or even an improv background, and
Yeah.
it sounds like it's such good. I come from the improv side,
Oh,
you come
cool.
from the theater side.
Yeah.
Both are such good training places
Absolutely.
to get into voiceover.
yeah, it's a good foundation.
Mhm.
It teaches you all about story, teaches you, Monica Rial said this on a panel last night, and I really liked what she said. It's like you learn the lingo, which becomes sort of a shorthand so that, when you're in the booth with the director, they can say a word and you just know what they mean instead of having to take the time to kind of like expound on what that word means and all of
Yes.
that. So,
Have you ever gotten crazy direction? Like you've
Oh,
got, because I
yes.
remember the first time I did, I think it was my first booth experience for Dragon Ball GT. I was screaming or yeah or something, and he was like, okay, split the difference. And I went, huh, so not yeah, not yeah, but something, split the difference.
yeah.
And so I was like, how do I interpret that? So
Yeah.
have you gotten something crazy like that?
I mean, I've gotten that a lot.
Uh-huh.
Like I'll do it one way and then I'll get direction. I'll go way too far in that direction. I'll be like, okay, yes, dial it back, split the difference,
Yes.
things like that.
Good. If it seems like yesterday you're
Indeed.
having a good time.
Oh, yes.
I can tell you love what you do.
I
You
do,
light up, you get
truly.
emotional. I'm sure
Can't
that
help
comes
it.
across on camera, but man, her eyes are sparkling right now.
Aw.
Well, thank you. This has been so much fun. We have to cut it short because she now has a panel coming up in just mere minutes.
Yes,
yes. So I bet the panel is going to be fantastic.
I'm excited.
Well, let's sign off in a character voice.
Sure.
You pick one.
Well, let's stick with Eri.
Let's
I
stick
love
with
her so much.
Yes,
So-
let's do that.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you for watching Anime Adventures. This has been Emily Neves.
Oh, that's so sweet. I can't stand it. Bye.